Students, good morning. What we have to start from here. The next page is page number 18. I think we read up to this that the last line was that those days we did not speak in English, nor did we bring in English words while talking in Kannada. Now he's talking about those times when the son of accountant he went to the city for studying. He's talking about that time that, and in those days nobody spoke any other language except Kannada. What has happened is disgraceful, believe me. But now he says ki what has happened. Now what he's talking about, what has happened here happening is that English has been added to the English words are added to the Kannada language. But the narrator says it's very disgraceful. The other day, I was in Ramarao's house when they bought a bundle of firewood. Now he's telling that I was in Ramarao's house and they bought a bundle of firewood, and Ramarao's son came out to pay for it. And he asked the woman, "How much should I give you?" 4 paise, she said. And the boy told her he did not have any change and asked her to come the next morning. Now he says that Ramarao's son he came out to pay the money and he asked the lady how much he should pay. She said 4 paise, and he said, "I don't have the change. You can come the next morning." The poor woman, because she was a Kannada lady, she didn't know the word, the meaning of the word change. She said the poor woman did not understand the word English word change and went away muttering to herself. And I too did not know. And he said that even I did not know what is the name of, what is the meaning of change. Later, when I went to Ranga's house and asked him, I understand what it meant. It was later on when Ranga told me the meaning of this word that I came to know about this. Now, this priceless commodity, the English language, was not so widespread in our village a decade ago. Now, he's talking about the 10 years ago. This priceless commodity means now this has become very priceless. Commodity means a thing. He's talking about the English language. That this English language, it is now it is called as a priceless commodity, but it was not widespread in our village a decade ago. 10 years ago, it was nobody knew English. That was why Ranga's homecoming was a great event. That is why, because Ranga had was the only one who had gone out of the village to Bangalore to study. That is why his homecoming was a great event, and people rushed to the doorstep announcing the accountant's son has come. And the people, they were running towards his house when they came to know, and they were saying that accountant's son has come. The boy who had gone to Bangalore for his studies is here, it seems. And come, Ranga is here. Let's go and have a look. And people were talking like this, and they were all moving towards the house of Ranga to have a look on him. Then, attracted by the crowd, I too went and stood in the courtyard and asked, why have all these people come? There is no performing monkey here." And attracted by the crowd, I also went towards their house, and there I asked someone, why those so many people have come here? There is no performing monkey here, means यहाँ को बंदर का तमाशा तो चल नहीं रहा. And a boy, a fellow without any brains, and there was a boy who was a brainless person, means he didn't know how to talk. He said loud enough for everyone to hear, "Then what are you doing here then?" And then when I said that there is not a performing monkey here, तो वो कहता फिर आप यहाँ पे क्या करने आए हो? तो the youngster, immature and without any manners, thinking that all these things were now of the past, I kept quiet. तो मैंने सोचा कि ये चीज़ें आजकल के बच्चे ऐसे ही हैं, तो I kept quiet. Then seeing so many people there, Ranga came out with a smile on his face. जब Ranga saw that so many people they have come here, he came out of the room and with a smiling face he came. Had we all gone inside, the place would have turned into what people call the Black Hole of Calcutta. Black Hole of Calcutta is the place in Calcutta which is a very rushy place. There's a lot of rush in that area. That is why he's saying that if we had gone inside, so that room would have become the Black Hole of Calcutta, means there would have been a great rush over there. Thank God it did not. And everyone was surprised to see that Ranga was the same as he had been 6 months ago. And everybody was surprised to see that Ranga had not changed at all when he had first left our village. And now what happened? An old lady who was near him ran her hand over his chest, looked into his eyes, and said, "The Genevra means Geneve is still there. He hasn't lost his caste." Now, one lady was near him. He tried to rub his hand on his chest and try to find out that the Geneve is there, whether he is wearing a Geneve or not. And when he saw that he is wearing, she said, "Oh, he has not lost his caste, means he is still the same." Then she went away soon. After that, Ranga laughed. And when she went, Ranga laughed because he never thought that the people could behave in that way. Then once they realized that Ranga was still had the same hands, legs, eyes, and nose, the crowd melted away. When Ranga realized that he was having the same features and everything was same, then the crowd melted away like a lump of sugar in a child's mouth. If we put a small cube of sugar cube in one's mouth, it melts away. So same way the crowd melted away, means crowd went from their house. Then I continued to stand there, but I still stood there. And after everyone had gone, I asked, "How are you, Rangappa?" When everybody had gone, then I came near Ranga and I said, "How are you, Rangappa? Is everything well with you?" It was only then that Ranga noticed me, and he came near me and did a namaskara respectfully, saying, "I am all right with your blessings." And he very respectfully told the narrator that he is quite fine. And then I must draw your attention to this aspects of Ranga's character, that he knew when it would be to his advantage to talk to someone and rightly assessed people's worth. Now he says that I know that Ranga has this character, that he knows that when and how and to whom to give the respect. He knew this. He assessed the people's worth, right? He was a very good person who knew how to give respect to elders and everything. As for his namaskara to me, he did not do like any present day boy, with his head up towards the sun, standing stiff like a pole without joints, jerking his body as if it was either a wand or a walking stick. Now he says, nowadays the boys, what they do, they don't bow before the elders. They just stand like a pole and just like a walking stick. And but he said that he not did he merely fold his hands, he bent low to touch my feet. He did not do like the present day boys. He folded his hand and he also bowed low to touch my feet. "And may you get married soon," I said, blessing him. After exchanging a few pleasantries, I left. Now, after talking some time with him, I gave him blessing that may you get married soon. Then I left. And that afternoon, when I was resting, Ranga came to my home with a couple of oranges in his hand. A generous, considerate fellow. It would be a fine thing to have him marry, settle down, and be of some service to society, I thought. And that afternoon, Ranga came to my home and he brought some oranges, and he was very generous fellow. I thought to myself that it would be a very fine thing if I get him married, and he'll be of some service to the society. Now, for a while, we talked about this and that. Then I came to the point. "Rangappa, when do you plan to get married?" After talking about this and that for some time, then I talked to him and I asked him, "When you plan to get married?" And he said, "I'm not going to get married now." He said, "No, I'm not going to get married." "Why not?" I asked, "Why not?" "Then I need to find the right girl." His answer was that I want to find a right girl. I know an officer who got married only 6 months ago. He's about 30 and his wife is 25, I'm told. They'll be able to talk lovingly to each other, and let's say, and he said that I know an officer who was married 6 months ago. He's 30 years and his wife is 25 years, only a 5 years age difference, and they are a very loving couple. And now he says, let's say, because their village tradition was that an old man a very old man, like a 30 years old man, marries only 12 or 13 years of age girl. Then he says, let's say I married a very young girl. She may take my words spoken in love as words spoken in anger, and Recently, a troupe in Bangalore staged the play Shakuntala. There is no question of Dushanta falling in love with Shakuntala if she were young. Now he says that uh, if I marry a very young girl and if I talk to her lovingly, she might take my words as words spoken in anger. She might not be able to understand whether I'm speaking in lovingly or speaking angrily. Now he's telling him that in Bangalore a play was there was a drama played on the stage named Shkuntala, and that is a love story where Dushyant falls in love with Shkuntala. But he says there would be no question of Dushyant falling in love with Shkuntala if she was very young. In the present day brides, like the present day brides, is there? Now he says that if Shkuntala has been very young, like the present day girls, present day brides, there would have been no question of Dushyanta falling in love with Shkuntala. What would have happened to Kalidas play? This is the play written by Kalidas. He said that what would happen to Kalidas play? If one gets married, then he is putting his point over here that if one gets married, it should to be a girl who is mature. Otherwise, one should remain a bachelor. That is why I am not marrying now. He said that if one gets married, he should get married to a girl who is mature. Otherwise, one should remain a bachelor. That is why he said that I am not marrying now. Is there any other reason? I asked, is there any other reason also? Then he said, a man should marry a girl he admires. He said that a man should marry a girl whom he can love, he can admire. What we have now are arranged marriages, and I am not in favor of them. Ranga says that nowadays we have arranged marriages. How can one admire a girl with milk stains on one side of her face and wetness on the other, or so young that she doesn't even know how to bite her finger? It means he says that how can when admire a girl who is very young, who has milk stains? If she drinks milk, the milk stains are on her face, and even her maybe her nose running or the wetness on the other side, right? And she's so young that she doesn't know how to show her shyness. She doesn't know how to bite her fingers. One a neem fruit, the other a bitter gourd. एक तो करेला ऊपर नीम चढ़ा. Exactly, Ranga said, laughing. Ranga ने कहा हाँ हाँ बिल्कुल. But I was distressed. Now Shyama is saying that I was distressed that the boy who I thought would make a good husband had decided to remain a bachelor. After chatting for a little longer, Ranga left, and I made up my mind right then that I would get him married. I was feeling very sad that the boy whom I thought that he is going to be a very good husband, he has decided not to get married. And when Ranga left, then I made up my mind that I would do his matchmaking. I would get him married. So this is up to this. We'll study and rest I'll send in the next video.